and then now he has a Porsche, and he does some PCA stuff. He just went on a bucket list trip last summer where him and some other retired guys do their stuff in a big truck and trailer, and did, Road America, Lime Rock, Mid Ohio, Road Atlanta, Circuit of America. Just did a great. I'm in my upper 60s. I don't know how long I'll be able to, get out and do some of this stuff. So I'm loading up my Porsche and I'm doing this, right? So I'm just giving you backstory on Frank. But anyway.
Yeah. That's
so Frank was always my mechanic at these big races. And my guy Eric, who's worked for me for a long time, good friend, and the guy that works for me. So I would always show up to national races with a couple different chassis choices, but a couple times the chassis choices showed up too late, so I only got a bare frame. So we were at Utah, I think it was 2014, and I wanted to try the different chassis. So we went on a practice day, right, where you're going pretty hot and heavy. I mean, practices are an hour apart, maybe hour and 15 minutes apart.
Uh-huh.
We went bare. We went from go out, run the session, come back in. Okay, I want to try that chassis, but it's a bare frame. Everything on that chassis to that other bare frame. Didn't miss a session. Went out. I didn't like the chassis. I wanted to go back to the other one. We put all that stuff back on the original bare frame, and didn't miss a session the second time.
Wow.
So bare frame to bare frame, back to bare frame, and did not miss a session on our practice day. That we still talk about that.
And nothing fell off.
Nothing fell off. That's just three dudes who know what they're doing. And that's like any pit, right? That's not magical to me. That's any pit in any good team and any guys that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You got three dudes that have you're on the front, you're on the engine, you're on the back. And you got three dudes just working their ass off for 1 hour to go bare frame to bare frame and hit the track and not miss a lap. Craziness, pure craziness. But it's one we brag about and then laugh about over beers, at least once a year.
No, that's a great one. I mean, and then the average karting guy that is at the local club is probably going, oh, there's no way.
No, I get that. The things that happened. I can remember Darren Elliott. We had Supernat still at the rock pile. So, we're talking late 90s probably. Yeah. And Darren Elliott was with, factory CRG guys, right? He had Bola as his mechanic, who was a long-time CRG #1 mechanic. And, he comes in between the pre-final and the final, and there's like an hour. And this is 22 years ago or whatever. And Bola takes apart the entire front end, and people are like looking at him like, oh, my God, what are you doing, right? And it's the kind of stuff that happens here now. But 20-plus years ago, it didn't happen at races in the U.S., right? And Bola's got the front end tore apart. He literally had the bearings out of the spindles and was putting new bearings in the spindles, right? Between and then with 10 minutes to go, Darren looks over at him, and anybody who knows Darren and will understand this. He looks at Bola and he goes, you know what? I've been thinking about it. I think we need to move the seat 2 millimeters forward. And Bola moved the seat 2 millimeters. Now, 2 millimeters, you're not even making a figure 8 with the holes, right? There's not two sets of holes. It's not even a figure 8. But Darren looked at Bola and said, I need to move the seat 2 millimeters. And Bola did it, and Darren won that year. But It was like, standing there, I'm like, are you kidding me? Not only did that guy just rip the whole front end apart in an hour, oh my God, but he moved the seat 2 millimeters, and it made a difference. How is that possible?
Yeah.
And like you said, the newer guy or, doesn't recognize that at that level, that stuff happens all the time. It is ridiculous. Or how many times did Mike and Scott Speed show up to big races with 6 bare frames that they wanted to try back in the old NBA days?
Yeah,
right?
and they just never gave up. They just thrashed.
They never, ever, ever gave up.
They just thrashed.
Sorry, you and I just ramble, but it's fun.
No, I lose track of time until you throw out that reminder of, hey, what was your last question? Wrap this up.
Yeah. Well, so we're at 80.
Stuff, though,
I think we're at 80. I think we're at 82 minutes now, so we're good. We're good. We're still good. We got at the most 7 more minutes.
Yeah, there you go. No, I like it. I like the different perspectives from karting because it's each one of us has traveled through karting with our own experiences, so it automatically just changes your perception on everything. And actually, I do got one story based along those lines, where is one of your competitors. We were at a track, and we were doing a track walk before anybody was there, and he's looking at the track. I'm looking at the track trying to figure out, okay, what kind of gear should we be running? What should the customers be doing? And him as a race promoter, he's looking at the track and say, okay, I need to put barriers here. I need to put barriers there. Yep. And I look at him, I was like, why would you ever need a barrier there? And he just goes, I've been doing this long enough. I've seen karts go through these type of sections to the other side of the track. And it's like,
yep,
really? And it's like, and I've seen a lot of racing and I've seen some odd things, but again, it's that perspective. I'm looking at gearing and other stuff, and he's looking at, okay, how do I not get somebody else killed?
No, exactly.
And
no, I mean that was you're exactly right. In 08, we were at the Rotex National at Shawano. Have you ever been to Shawano?
No, that was one on my list. That's kind of when I kind of took a break from karting, and I never made it out there. And it's all everyone I ever talked to. It's usually one of the top 3 on their lists, a bucket list. It's
crazy. I actually wasn't a fan of it because it more scared you than anything else. I was always more of a rhythm driver kind of guy, right? But there are some guys who just had, I mean, sorry to say this, I've just had bigger balls than I did and just loved those sections, right? But it was a roller coaster, man. There were blind corners and blind areas and up over hills and down. I mean, it was fun, super fun to drive, but not one of my favorites, I would say. But still, I get it. But we get there, and same thing. I'm just a racer, but back then I had just started promoting races, so that was 08. So I'd been doing my Gator series for 5 years. I'd just come off the first year doing the challenge. And we go to a section, and I'm like, hey, Marshall Martin, you probably need to put some bales or barriers here. He's like, what are you talking about? I said, guys are gonna hit this building. He's like, hit the building? That's like 60 feet off the track. And Scott Poppy, the guy that managed the track, God rest his soul, Scott Poppy is now gone. Scott Poppy says, I've been here for 5 years. Nobody's ever come close to hitting that building. I'm like, I'm telling you, the angle where that building is, there is a chance people will get to that building. Nope. The next day, one of the guys from my pit hit that building.
Oh, Jesus.
They stopped the race. They put the barriers up, and they're just looking at me and shaking their heads. I'm like, I don't want to be right. I didn't want to be right. But yeah, crazy. Got a kid named Jeremy Kane hit the building. And it's like,
was he okay?
But as a guy, I think he got a little bit of a concussion, but he raced through it. I'm not sure. You know,
but he didn't snap his leg in half or something crazy.
No. He made himself dizzy, and we had to rebuild his go-kart, but he went out for the next heat race. But there was no concussion protocol at Shawano in 2008. But like you said, it's just perspective, right? You walk the track with that guy, and he's like, oh, man, at this angle, that there's a chance. And you're not talking about an 80% chance. You're talking about a 20% chance. And as a promoter, a 20% chance is enough. I mean, you don't want anybody. My first goal going into any race is I want to pay the ambulance guys to sit on their ass and eat Cheetos all day. I don't want them to move. I don't want the ambulance guys to move. And there's other promoters that I compete with, and there's other promoters I don't like and don't like me. But we all have that same goal. We go into every race. If that ambulance doesn't move, check number 1 in the success box for sure.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, a lot of you are racers. I mean, you ended up in this role because you're a racer.
I'm one of the few that can say that I've raced at a fairly high level for being a Masters guy. I've built engines that have won national championships. I've promoted races on the national level. I've tuned for guys that have won on the national level on a chassis side. So I mean, I can say when my career in the sport is over, I can say I've checked a lot of the boxes, and I'm fairly happy with what I've done. One of my favorite, man, we can just go all over the place in these stupid conversations. One of my favorite musicians is Billy Joel, right? I mean, I love Billy Joel. I love his music. And that shows how, I'm going to be 50 this year. So Billy Joel, I grew up with Billy Joel. I watched an interview with him once, and the guy said, "What do you attribute your success to?" And he says, most guys are really great songwriters or really great piano players or really great vocalists or really great musicians. He goes, I can do all of them pretty well, and somehow that whole package has given me a long career. And I don't mean to sound arrogant, but I feel the same way about myself. Like I've done everything at a pretty good level. I haven't been the best at anything, but I've done everything at a high enough level that I can say I've had a good career and I'm satisfied with that,
That's actually a great way to wrap up the show.
I appreciate that.
And I want your final thoughts on this, and then we'll end it at that. But in racing, you've seen people go from karting to the upper levels.
Yep.
And we've all run across that talent in the pits that person is just a superior driver, but they just never made it. And when you say that, Billy Joel, it's like, okay, he wasn't great at every, one specific thing. He was just good at all of it. What would you say is that one skill that has taken these drivers from karting to the big time?
Marketability at this point.
Yeah, marketability. Determination.
Determination and marketability. I mean, it's racing ceased to become a meritocracy just based on skill the minute AJ Foyt and Mario Andretti retired. Meaning, I was always the fastest guy, so I should get that ride, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you can't talk, and you can't sell laundry detergent, and you can't interact with the sponsors, and you can't smile, and you have to be all those things, right? And now you have to be able to be marketable, but if you're not extremely marketable, you certainly have to be the most determined guy, because if you're not, you're just going to get swallowed up. I mean, there's the top 0.1%, which are actually good enough to drive at that level, and then there's the top 0.1% that actually succeed at that level, right? People don't understand. You're talking about thousands of people that get there, and we all know guys that could hustle a cart or hustle a car as good as the guys that are racing on Sundays, but you know what? They didn't have that one piece of their game, and unfortunately nowadays, a lot of kids that end up thinking that they deserve a seat never had to work hard enough for it. And while they can wheel a cart or a car, they just don't have the hunger because they never had to. Right? The guys that had to bleed it and live it. I mean, man, those are the guys you root for. Those are absolutely the guys you root for, man.
Yeah. I've said it on a number of different occasions where I my age category, I'm older than Scott Speed, AJ Allmendinger, and Joey Hand. I'm older than all of them, and but they were always the ones that were. I'm trying to figure out how to. I'm not good with words. They were always younger than me and always a class behind. But I always knew, watching them, all three of them, I always knew they were special.